Good Tuesday morning. So today we're on Psalm 14. Psalm 14 is a portrait of sinners. So this is another Psalm of David. Starting in verse 1. The fool says in his heart, "There's no God." They are corrupt, they do vile deeds, there is no one who does good. The Lord looks down from heaven on the human race to see if there is one who is wise, one who seeks God. All have turned away, all alike have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, not even one. Will evildoers never understand? They consume my people as they consume bread. They do not call on the Lord. Then they will be filled with dread, for God is with those who are righteous. You sinners frustrate the plans of the oppressed, but the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that Israel's deliverance would come from Zion. When the Lord restores the fortunes of his people, let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. Now this psalm starts off with, the fool says in his heart, there's no God. And now this kind of goes back to a couple of the other psalms that we've looked at over here. But in the previous psalms, the sinners are referred to as people who are more interested in fulfilling the desires of their heart rather than looking to God and wanting to do what God desires. And this is how it starts. It starts with them saying in their heart, there's no God. Because if there's no God, there's no accountability, there's no one who's always holding you to a standard. So it's really easy to just do things and see that there's no consequences and think that if there's no consequences, then this is right, and then go right on down that path. It says, the Lord looks down from heaven on the human race to see if there is one who is wise, one who seeks God. Now this one's really awesome, especially to me, because once again, you don't need to go to a Bible college. You don't need to go to, you don't need to be a super Christian or anything. All you need to have is a heart that is pointed to God. You need a heart that is determined to always look to God for salvation, look to God for refuge, and look to God for deliverance. That's the kind of heart that God looks for. And other than that, there's no other qualifications listed here other than the God looking to see if there is one who is wise and one who seeks God. If you look in the book of 2 Kings and 4 Kings, First and 2 Kings, got that all twisted up. If you go to 1st and 2nd Kings, you'll see that a lot of the kings who actually had a godly reign, the way they started their ruling period is, it says that they purpose in their heart to seek God. And this is also true of, I believe, Nehemiah and Ezra. From the very beginning, they purpose in their heart, I'm going to pursue God no matter what. And what that means is, no matter what the circumstances look like, no matter if things are going good, if things are going bad, doesn't matter if I feel good, feel bad, if I'm sick, if I'm healthy, if I'm rich, if I'm poor, all of those things don't matter. You've already determined in your heart, I am going to seek God all the time. And I'm not seeking God for anything other than his love. If you go to Matthew 6:33, it says, if you seek first the kingdom of heaven, and his righteousness, then all the benefits of heaven will be added to you. The Christian life, there's no reward. Well, I shouldn't say there's no reward. I would say that there's a lot less of a reward if all you're doing is seeking the blessings of God. There's a much bigger incentive on just seeking God for just seeking God with no ulterior motive. That kind of a heart is something that God sees, God recognizes, and a heart that God honors. Now we go down a little further. It says, you sinners, this is verse 6, you sinners frustrate the plans of the oppressed, but the Lord is his refuge. Now, the righteous people, they're not afraid of being in the light, if that makes sense. There's nothing to hide. There's no, I'm doing these things in secret and I hope no one finds out, so I'm going to lay low. But it's a lot easier to be open and transparent. But because wicked people love the darkness and because they don't really want people to find out what they're doing, a lot of things wicked people do seem to kind of come out of nowhere because they do everything in the darkness. So it's not like you can just see them scheming and planning and executing their plans. So if you're a righteous person going about your day, it could kind of seem like from left field all these attacks are coming. But yet it says, but the Lord is his refuge. So once again, it's not our job to constantly be trying to come up with it's not our job to constantly be nervous or anxious about what the enemy can do, but rather it's our job once again to always have this purpose in our heart of I'm seeking God always, 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 always. There's an attack of you need to pay a lot of money to pay off your car, to make repairs in your car or make repairs in your house, and your money's going down. Well, what you're supposed to do is to say, regardless of how low my bank account gets, I'm always going to be looking to God, always pursuing God. And a byproduct of that pursuing of God is that he's going to uphold you and bless you through that season. You're not seeking the money, you're seeking God. And as a result of that, he's taking care of you. And this is why it says labor into rest, because it's really hard to not worry. It's really hard to not be anxious. And it is something that you do have to labor into. You have to go through the word, look for a verse to stand on, a verse that really applies to your moment so that you can have the confidence that God will take care of you. And that labor of trying to find that word to stand on will be paid off with rest. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.